Okay, so on the board it says a sum of a geometric series, but before we do sum of a geometric series, we're going to do one really quick, really easy thing. You learned this in geometry. It's called geometric mean. Geometric mean. So again, you studied this in geometry, but we're going to go back over it real quick. If I have two different numbers, say I have numbers A and number B, and I want to find the geometric mean. Well, the geometric mean is just the square root of A times B. Okay? So for instance, if I had the number 2 and the number 4, square root is 2 times 4. That's the square root of 2 times 4 is 8. Well, I know I can simplify 8 as just 2 square root of 2. Okay? So that's how I find geometric mean. If I have, say, a fraction, so let's say I have 1/2 and 1 over 32. Well, square root of 1/2 times 1 over 32 equals the square root of 1 over 64. Well, the square root of 1 is just 1. Square root of 64 is 8. Okay? So that's how I do geometric mean. So I just do the square root of the two numbers multiplied together. That's how I find geometric mean. Alright, so go ahead and find the geometric mean. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video and find the geometric mean of 11, 12, and 13. Alright, so geometric mean, I just do the square root of the two numbers multiplied together. So for this one, I have 6 times 3 over 8. Well, 6 times 3 is 18, so I have the square root of 18 over 8. Well, I know that 2 goes into both of those, so I can say, well, that's the square root of 9 over 4. And then I can say, oh, well, 9, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 4 is 2. So my answer is 3 over 2. 2 times 32 is 64. And of course, the square root of 64 is 8. And then 12 times 192. Do a calculator for that one. Equals 2,304. And if I just try to do a square root of that, I get 48. So that equals 2,304, which is the square root of 48. Alright, so we have one last thing to cover, and that's the actual title for the slide, which is sum of a geometric series. We've done summation before, so now we're doing summation with geometric series. All right. So just like last time, we're going to have a formula to do the sum of geometric series, and that formula is S of n equals a sub 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. Now, if you look at this formula in your book, you'll see that kind of off to the side, it says, comma, r not equal to 1. Now, that doesn't necessarily change how you work this problem. All that means is, well, if r is 1, then if I get 1 minus 1 in the bottom of the fraction, and I'm going to end up with divide by 2. So I cannot have an r equals to 1 for this. Okay. And it says, of course, a sub 1 is the first term, and r is the common ratio. So, example. We're going to find s sub 7, and that means I'm adding the first 7th terms together for 3, trying to find s sub 7, and my terms are 3 minus 6 plus 12 minus 24 plus ... Okay? Well, let's see here. I see that my sign keeps changing, which means that r equals a negative number. From 3 to 6, well, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 12 divided by 6 is 2, 24 divided by 12 is 2, so r is negative 2. So now I can plug into my formula. So we have s sub 7 equals, my first term is 3, 1 minus negative 2 to the 7th, all over 1 minus negative 2. Now let's simplify this a little bit. S sub 7 equals 3. Well, negative 2 to an odd is going to be a negative. So negative 2 to the 7th. Let's see what that is. 2. Seven. All right. Bring a calculator after that one. So 1, 2. Cool. So you have 128. Now, that's going to be a negative, but since I still have that minus out front, it's going to be 1 plus 128. All over. And then 1 minus negative 2 is 1 plus 2. So I have s sub 7 equals 3 times 129 over 3. Well, notice in the bottom, the 3 and the 3 are going to just cancel each other out, and I'm left with 129. So s of 7 equals 129. Okay. Now sometimes they give it to me in that form. Other times they actually give it to me in summation notation form. So they'll say k equals 1, 5 of 1/3 to the k minus 1. Okay? Now again, this is not a difficult problem because I can look at this and see what all I have. Well, if I look at it, I see, well, a sub 1 is just 1/3 to the, well, 1 minus 1, which is 1/3 to the 0, which is 1. Anything to the 0, power is 1. So I have a sub 1 equals 1. Now my r is just going to be whatever number is right here. So in this case, 1/3. So R equals 1/3. And then I'm trying to find S sub this number, that number on top. So in this case, S sub 5. So now I can plug into my formula. So S of 5 equals A sub 1, 1 minus R to the 5 over 1 minus R. So plus our plugging values, S sub 5 equals, well, A sub 1 is just 1. R is 1/3. So that's 5 equals, well, 1 times anything is just 1. So 1 minus, well, 3 to the 5th power. I know 1 to the 5th power is just 1 over 3 to the 5th power. So let's break the calculator out again real quick. And we'll say 3 times. So 243 over 1 minus 1/3. Well, 1 minus 1/3, I can change 1 into just, what would I know right now? 1 minus 1/3. Okay. To add these numbers, I need common denominators. So S sub 5 equals, I can say, well, this is just 243 over 243 minus 1 over 243. And this will be 3 over 3 minus 1 over 3. 343 over 243 minus 1 over 243 is 242 over 243, all over, well, 3 minus 1 is 2 over 3. Okay, now that may look really weird, but all I have is a fraction over a fraction, or a complex fraction. So, I'm going to flip and multiply. So multiply this by 3 over 2. Multiply this by 3 over 2. These cancel out. Well, I have 2 on the bottom, so we'll say 242 times 3. That equals 726 over 243 times 2. 486. Now I could simplify this fraction some. It's not going to simplify completely, but I can simplify it some. Or I can just say, okay, 726 divided by 486. All right, and we'll round to a couple decimal places and say, all right, well, this is approximately 1.49. So you can give it to me as a fraction or round it to a decimal. All right, go ahead and pause the video and then try to do numbers 14 and 15 and then push play and I'll give you the answers for both. All right, so for number 14, you should have seen that the R is, since it's just changing by decimal, is 1 over 10 or 0.1. And after you plug into the formula, you should get an answer that is 2 point and then 5 twos. 1, 2, 3. So 2.2222.
Number 15.
Well, I see that the R is -3, it's just right there. All right, I know that it is asking for S sub 5. So when you plug into the formula, you should get the answer is 61. Okay, and that's it for 9.4. So your homework is page 659, and that's problems 19 through 35. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday.